Greetings, 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 peace, love, harmony, and light. This is Chief Kalanago with a video. I finally figured it out. All right. I just have to kind of log out and log back in. So I think we are good to go. All right. That's a whole lot better. All right. Because like I said, ain't nothing gonna stop this bill from happening. You feel me? It's too important. So once again, giving thanks to the Great Spirit, giving thanks to my ancestors for always using me as a vessel to just bring information, to enlighten the masses. This is strictly for elevation and enlightenment purposes. Allow me to take the time to greet you as usual. Sat Pase, Aloha, Mabrikwa, Osio, Halito. Man, just greetings to all. You know what I mean? What the deal is, Wagwan. So we are kind of like, there we go, man. There we go. Peace and love, peace and love. As you know, once people are tuning in, I love to give a shout out, as they come into the feed. This one right here, I mean, you don't really have to get your pen and your pad for that. It's just just pure information. Just follow along. All right. I have to do part two, hopefully today. All right, we'll do part two of the Negro, the Negro question, part 6, the 13 Black colonies. Hopefully today we'll do part 2 after this. After this bill right here, I'll take a break and then I'll come back to that, to do part 2 a little later. But the spirit just led me to do this video that I'm doing right now. It's important that we get this as a people, or just people, period. All right. So I'm going to give you guys some more time to get into this live feed. While you're doing that, do me a favor. If you're not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and hit the subscription button. If you're not getting the notifications, it's because you haven't clicked on the notification bell. So go ahead and do that, because a lot of folks are hitting me up. Well, Chief, I didn't get the notification and I missed the live. Well, that's how you don't miss the live, right? You just hit on the notification bell, okay? And you will get that notification. Do me a favor, take the link of the video, put it on your respective platforms, whether it may be Facebook, Instagram, whatever other social media that you have. Please share that information, okay? My goal, okay, is to take you to a whole different level in your understanding of yourself and the thinking of yourself. All right, it's time to elevate that mind. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you a little picture that I drew. All right, I mean, I ain't no big artist, right? At least when it comes to drawing, I'm okay. But I drew something, but I'm certainly sure you'll follow along. So that's what we're going to do. I did a video, I think it was one of my Sunday bills when I spoke of intelligence and the manifestation of gods and all that from intelligence, because intelligence is not God. All right. So I kind of broke that down, but I'm going to give you a visual of exactly what I'm talking about so people could really see what it is for themselves. So I'm going to share my screen. Let's share the screen. Whoever is not on right now, they're going to have to just catch the build a little later, right? But gotta continue this work right here. All right. So I'm gonna talk to you about a couple of things today. I'm sharing the screen right now, and let's see if it's working. Yep, it's working. Perfect. So I don't know if you could see this little image that I drew. All right. Let me see if I could make it a little bigger. I don't know if that's possible, but if it's not possible, then I'll explain to you what I have here, right? So at the top, this is, and I kind of like broke that down for you, but now I'm giving you a visual of what I'm talking about, okay? So at the top, we have intelligence, right? We have intelligence. Intelligence is basically where everything in creation came from. All the tools that's needed to create is actually in intelligence. All right. Intelligence was never created. Intelligence cannot be destroyed. Intelligence is just is. It just is what it is. All right. That's just what it is. Everything that's in creation came from, you know, came from intelligence. And from intelligence, within intelligence, right, you have a lot of different characteristics. And two of the characteristics in creation that's needed to create is the masculine and the feminine energy. Okay? The masculine and the feminine energy comes together and create what? Create created he male and male, female man and male man. But it's just man. It is just man. All right. There's only man that exists. But within man, there is male man and there is female man. I'm going to repeat that. Intelligence is basically what exists. All right. Everything from that came from everything that's created. All the tools came from intelligence. And the truth of the matter is there is so many more tools in intelligence that we haven't tapped into as creators. I hope that makes sense. Because as creators, we have to step into intelligence and pull those tools out and bring them together so we could create. That's what creators do. But within the paradigm of creation, you have to ask yourself, well, who created the gods? Because if you look at the first chapter in Genesis, it says, let us create man in our image, right? So therefore, if you say, let us create man in our image, then you would have had to at least created man before. Man always had to exist. For you to create man in your image, that means you have had to have a concept of what man was. So there has never been a time that man didn't exist. So I'm spending time on intelligence so you truly get what I'm saying. All right? Intelligence exists in man. Intelligence exists in gods, but gods are not intelligence. You feel me? Intelligence is just the universal source that we could pull things out of to create. That's what intelligence is. You cannot describe it. It is not something that you could see. It's just there. It was never created. All right? So from intelligence, certain movements, certain things transpired, right? And God's was self-created. God's was self-created. And I'm always going to use that example of the chicken and the egg. Which one came first? The chicken or the egg? If you say the chicken, then I'm going to ask you, well, if you say the chicken came first, why is the chicken coming from the egg? And if you say the egg came first, I'm going to ask you, well, how is that the chicken laying the egg, right? So that gives you the perfect example of validating that we were self-manifested, okay? You created yourself. Nobody created you. You created yourself, but how did you create yourself? All right? What did you use to create yourself? But what you used to create yourself came from intelligence. Okay? Everything that we need in creation comes from intelligence, that universal mind. All right? Now, from the universal mind, self-manifested gods were created. And from self-manifested gods, okay, then it said, well, let us make man. So that man is the first I am. That first I am, which we already broke that down. That's the spiritual man. That's the Christ. It's a hierarchy, right? That's the spiritual man. And from the spiritual man manifested what? Manifested the soul. What is the soul? We broke that down on Sunday. The soul is the subconscious mind and the conscious mind that lives in the body, right? So you have the I am, which is your higher self. Okay? Your higher self has a hierarchy. The hierarchy of your higher self, all right, is the God, right, that created the I am from intelligence. It is still you. It's nobody else. It's you. You have always been in charge. The problem is people are thinking that their body is them. They're thinking that the flesh is them. The flesh is not you. So the I am is your God. Now, that I am decided, okay, you know what? we are going to create a physical world. And within that physical world, the I am, which is the spirit, the Christ, cannot exist in that physical world. So the only way to experience anything in that physical world, the I am had to do what? The I am had to manifest a soul, a conscious mind, and a subconscious mind, which is matter, which is flesh. So the baby that was born with the flesh, and I'm talking about upper and lowercase flesh, is the natural born baby that your mother created. However, these creations, they created creations such as institutions and governments. Religion is a creation of man. And what religion and institutions and government has done, they have taken that upper and lowercase flesh, child, whether it may be boy or girl, and they created an all cap flesh man, an artificial man. And you think that's you, and you are being ruled. But that shouldn't be the case. If you are a God, then you're supposed to be in charge. You feel what I'm saying? I hope that makes sense. So let me just recap again, okay? You have intelligence. Out of intelligence, all the tools for creation is in intelligence. Everything. There are actually tools in intelligence that we haven't even tapped into. I'm talking about way advanced civilizations. All the tools for that is actually in intelligence, but we haven't tapped into that, right? Now, from intelligence, God's was self-manifested. From intelligence, God's was self-manifested. And from God said, okay, you know what? I'm going to start individualizing myself. So therefore, I'm going to make a higher self, which is the I am. And the I am said, okay, man, that's a beautiful thing. I'm feeling myself in the spirit, but now I want to feel myself in the flesh. So there came the flesh. The word became flesh. And that's the physical man and the physical woman. But what creations did, governments, institutions, religion, they say, you know what, now we don't want these people to know they're gods. So we're going to create something else. We're going to create an artificial man and tell them that that's them. In other words, we're going to play God. We cannot literally create man because we don't know how to do it. But however, we could create a new man on paper. And that is the all cap man. And that's what's being controlled. But you think it's you. All your life you were taught that's you. But I'm here today to tell you that's not you. So I'm giving you the hierarchy, all right, of the manifestation of God's, the I am, and the flesh man, the physical man, that allowed their creations, which is governments, because man created government, man created institutions, man created religions. All right. So the creations, okay, are in place to control the creator. And that's not how it's supposed to work. And like I told y'all in the Sunday build, that's one of the sins that you're actually committing right now. That's a sin. Not being able to control your creations or have dominion over your creations. That was a covenant that you made before your higher self. Because your higher self is a God. Your higher self is God. It's not the universal intelligence. No, that's not what it is. And even out of universal intelligence, there is a universal mind, which is a universal God. We're collectively, but as individuals, you manifest yourself as your I am. You chose your parents, okay? You chose the nose that you wanted to have. All right. You chose the complexion that you wanted to have. You chose what kindergarten that you're going to be in. You chose what kind of food that you like. All that stuff was pre-planned. The physical body is just stepping into that realization. That's why they tell you 1,000 years down here is like one day up here. And when they say one day up there, they're talking about the mental realm. because things have to slow down so much in this physical realm that it literally takes, and again, that is just allegory, of course, but they're telling you that the relation between the time in the spiritual realm and in the physical realm is that it's 1,000 years down here is equal to 1 day up there. You feel me? So I hope that makes sense. I'm going to go to the next diagram for you. It's not something that I drew, but it's something that I pulled from Google. And I'm going to explain that to you in another way. So we're talking about the higher self and we're talking about the lower self. So the higher self is the I am, okay? The Christ, God. And the lower self is the man, the physical body, the avatar, all right? And within that avatar exists the soul, and the soul is the subconsciousness and the conscious mind, all right? Let us go here now. I'm gonna show you a diagram of the chakras to really expound on what I'm talking about when it comes to the higher self and the lower self, right? So each chakra has a color that's associated with it. And it starts from red, lower, to what you call purple or violet, rather, not purple, but violet, okay, to the crown chakra. That is an example of vibrations, okay, or frequencies that the man, all right, goes through in this physical realm. So when we're looking at the chakras, we're talking about the lower self, the higher self, and everything in between. Now, when you look at certain commercials, all right, which I've done a video on that, I think that got lost somewhere on YouTube, right? But anyway, when you look at commercials, you're going to see that most commercials have a lot of red in them. It depends on what they're trying to convey. It depends on what audience. It depends on of how much of your hunger that they want to feed into. So most commercials will deal with either red or orange because they are catering to your lower self. Okay, they're catering to your lower self. If you look at a lot of commercials that deal with foods, you will see that a lot of their commercials deal with yellow, red, or orange because they are catering to your lower self. They're catering to your lower self. Certain commercials you might see green, okay? Now they're dealing with where they want to tap into your emotions with the heart, okay? You rarely see commercials where you see purple and indigo because now that's like really tapping into your higher self. And they don't want you to do that. So they have to keep you vibrating in those lower frequencies. So most commercials are going to deal with yellow, orange, or red. Most of them. All right. So let us get into the lower chakra. The lower chakra is called the root chakra, and that deals with the kundalini energy. It deals with instinct and survival and security. That's what the lower chakra deals with, all right? Because in this type of world that we live in, we have to tap into our lower chakras because, especially right now, where we are at, okay? Because we are living in a survival mode. We are not living life. We are surviving. So that's why we are always in our lower chakras. You feel what I'm saying? And all that stuff is done. All that stuff is done intentionally. Just so you know, all that stuff is done intentionally. There is no coincidence that they want you to be living in your lower chakras because they don't want you to ascend. They don't want you to ascend. So that's what the lower chakra is, the root chakra. But don't get me wrong now. All this is part of your essence. There is nothing wrong in tapping into your lower chakra when it's needed. Okay? Because sometimes we say, oh, well, you're always in your lower chakra. Yes, that's a problem to be always in your lower chakra, right? But when it's needed, you have to get into that survival mode. When it's needed, you have to secure yourself. When it's needed, you have to, that instinct got to come out. That's how you survive, right? The next chakra is the orange. It's the color for that chakra is orange, and that's the abdomen or the navel chakra. And that deals with emotion, sexual energy, and creativity, right? Sexual energy doesn't necessarily mean carnalistic energy. It doesn't necessarily mean that. Okay. So all it means is just sexual energy and creativity. That's where your creativity comes from your lower chakra, and which is the navel chakra, that gut. You know, when sometimes when you feel something all the way down in those in the pit of your stomach, that's the activation of your chakras. All right. But the color that's assimilated with that is orange. So pay attention to commercials. All right. Pay attention, because even colors can be used, or well, not can be, even colors are being used in commercials to play on your emotions, right? Now you would see a lot of Victoria's Secret commercials. You might see a lot of red, all right, catering to the lower chakra, or you might see purple, right? Tapping into the crown chakra, but at the same time bringing you down to the lower chakra, because now you're fantasizing. You see what I'm saying? You're fantasizing, and that's taking you down into that sexual energy. So once again, you have to know that you have to be in control, because this is you. You are God, all right? And you have to be in control. You have to be in control. Nobody else. You have to be able to govern your mind. So your mind is your government. Okay? So we're dealing with the second chakra, which is the abdomen or the navel chakra, that deals with emotion, sexual energy, and creativity, right? Then you have the third chakra. The color is yellow. That's the solar plex. Okay? And that deals with mental functioning, power, control, freedom to be oneself. You feel me? If your solar plex chakra is not aligned, or it's not fully activated, all right, then that has an impact on how your mind is being controlled. So it has to be activated. So when you see a lot of people cannot get information, or a lot of people don't know what it means to be free, they just want to be slaves. Okay? Everything of their being is something that was suggested by somebody else or from society. That means their solar plex chakra is not open, because their life is subjected to other people's suggestions of them. So therefore, their third chakra, okay, which is the solar plex chakra, it is not open. It is not open because it deals with mental functioning. And then what kicks in? Cognitive dissonance, denial, all right? Power control. They lack that because they always want to be controlled. That is because their solar plex chakra is not open. Freedom to be oneself. That's another issue. Once your solar plex chakra is not functioning properly. So just wanted to break that down again. All right. And I'm gonna recap, okay? But we're just gonna go through the chakras. The fourth chakra is the green chakra. That is the heart chakra. That's where love and balance and compassion comes in. All right. So once you start working on your lower chakras, you want to start working your way up. And once you get to the heart chakra, you want to be able to spend a lot of time there, because that's where it brings balance. That's where the affirmations of Mayat kicks in, because Mayat dealt with the heart chakra, the heart being light as a feather. That deals with intentions. Okay, so the heart chakra deal with a lot of intentions, love, balance, compassion, the way you do things, when you say things, what you do, the emotions, the intentions behind it. All right, that determines whether your heart chakra will be open or not. If you have hate, you have no compassion. If you have a lot of jealousy and envy, and I'm talking about negative jealousy, because jealousy could be positive or negative. All right? Jealousy could be positive or negative. Any pole, in any pole, there is always a negative and a positive to that pole. So any polarity, all right, there's always a negative or a positive polarity to that pole. So jealousy is a pole, but it could be a negative jealousy or it could be a positive jealousy. So when you deal with the heart chakra, it always has to be about that positive aspect of that pole. So we are dealing with love, balance, and compassion. All right. And that is the center of it all. Now, when you step into the fifth chakra, the color is blue. That's the throat chakra that deals with speech and self-expression. You may find that a lot of people are not able to express themselves verbally, to articulate themselves, like some people do. That means that their throat chakra is not open. As you can tell, my throat chakra is wide open. You know what I mean? But there are people who are not able to express themselves that way. All right? Through speech and self-expression. That is the throat chakra. So they have a lot of work to do. Okay? The goal is to master all of your chakras. Okay? And keep them in balance. All right? Next, you go to the sixth chakra. And the color is indigo. And people call it the third eye. Well, I call it the first eye. The reason being is because the spiritual realm comes first. The mental realm comes first. So therefore, I will not call it the third eye. What people call the third eye or the pineal gland, I call the first eye. Okay? So that deals with clairvoyance, psychic abilities, and imagination. So once the rest of your chakras are not aligned, okay, there is no way your first eye is going to be opened. There's no way it's going to be opened. All right. So you have to work on that. And a lot of things that could affect that is things like some of the music that you listen to, some of the foods that you eat, some of the company that you keep. All that stuff deals with energy because it affects the level of your melanin. All right. When it comes to producing, melatonin and serotonin, right? All that stuff stimulates your pineal gland. So with that being said, right, it deals with pretty much what you eat. And when I say what you eat, I don't just mean physically, because eating could be any type of energy. Eating food is a form of energy. So therefore, music is a form of eating. That's a form of energy that you are taking in. People's words that you listen to is a form of eating. It's a form of energy that you take in. That's why I always, warn you guys, be careful of some of the people that you listen to, because you are taking in that energy and it affects you. Okay? It affects your balance. It does. You may not realize it because it's happening. The changes are so minuscule that you don't even realize that you are changing, that these people are affecting you. So be mindful of that type of energy that you take in. You feel me? So that deals with the first eye. Okay? The first eye. Now we looking at the seventh chakra, and the color is violet. All right? That deals with the spiritual connection, understanding, or I would say understanding or overstanding. And it says knowing. Knowing is means to be conscious, and bliss, not blessed, but bliss, a place of blissfulness and oneness. All right. And that's to me gonna, facilitate, pretty much what I'm gonna talk about today, because I'm going somewhere with all of this. I'm showing you where you need to be. Okay, now all those seven chakras, it doesn't necessarily mean those are the only chakras that we have. We also have, etheric chakras that is not physical, all right, but it's also in the higher realms. in the ethers. I think we have at least up to 13 chakras, but only 7 are physical. All right? Only 7 are physical, and the other 6 is actually in the ethers. But it is still aligned with the man. It's just that the man is so disconnected, he or she cannot tap into that. You feel me? So we have a lot of growing to do, but we're going to focus on the 7 physical chakras. All right, that we have the power right now to start making the changes to align ourselves. Right. Well, I know how to test to see if people's chakras are actually aligned or not. I know how to do that. All right, I do that with my pendulum. Right, but let's go back to the lower chakra here for a second. Okay, that is a part of you. You can't get rid of it. Your lower self is a part of you, and it's needed. All right, it's needed when the time is right for whatever particular situation that you're in. Okay, if you're in the jungle, right, or you're in the forest, or wherever you at, and a lion or a bear is about to come chase you, that instinct is gonna kick in, survival mode. That's you stepping into your lower chakra. Now I gotta secure myself, security. You see what I'm saying? But this is what the system does. The system knows this, right? So they are tapping into your being, and they are literally preventing you from allowing your chakras to move you. So instead of your chakras stepping into survival mode, security, and instinct, right? They have your lower chakras. They have your lower chakras getting into, oh, you know what? All I want to do is just call people negative names. I want to fight people. I want to eat junk food. Trust me, they know exactly what they're doing because they're giving it to you in the music. So the main reason for tapping into your lower chakra, you are not using it for that reason, because you should be tapping into your lower chakra to make sure that you don't get abused by the system. You see what I'm saying? That's where survival kicks in. You're supposed to be able to secure yourself, because one of the number one rules in the laws of nature is what? Self-preservation. So that means security. You have to secure yourself. But they are imposing so much fear on people. They're not tapping into their lower chakras to do what it's supposed to do. Even if they are in their lower chakras, they are not in their lower chakras for the intended purpose. So they are being manipulated. I hope that makes sense. When you step into your lower chakra, it shouldn't be to kill your brother. It shouldn't be to call a sister a B. It shouldn't be to call a sister a H. Okay? It shouldn't be to, I want to pop a N in his head. That shouldn't be the reasons for tapping into your lower chakras. When you tap into your lower chakra, it should be about the Kundalini experience. It should be about that instinct, that survival mode. I got to secure myself from the beast. That's what you should tap into your lower chakra for. Okay? Let's go to the second chakra. Your abdomen, all right? Your navel chakra. Emotions. That's where all your emotions are. Now, your emotions could be on either side of the spectrum, meaning that you could have negative emotion. Like I said, everything is a pole. So emotion is a pole. And within emotion, because everything is its own entity. So emotion is its own entity, and you have a negative pole and you have a positive pole of emotional energy. All right? And sometimes you may have to step onto the negative side of energy, of that energy of emotion. Sometimes it's needed. Okay? Sometimes it's needed. Because the only way you're going to secure yourself by getting your lower chakra, which is the root chakra, and the navel chakra to work together, they have to have an understanding of balance between them. So sometimes that emotion, okay, that navel chakra have to tap into your lower chakra sometimes to keep it balanced or to assist it with the emotion. All right? Am I going to use the emotion of love? Or am I going to use the emotion of, you know what? I got to punch you in the head because you're really disrespecting. Those all comes from emotion. Now, sexual energy. Sexual energy could be for many different things, all right? You could have sexual energy for manifestation. You could have sexual energy for healing. You could have sexual energy for a lot of different things, all right? If you're really where you're supposed to be, well, let's say if we're really where we are supposed to be, we could use sexual energy to manifest wealth. We could use sexual energy to manifest, healing. I mean, really, it's so many different ways and so many different things that we could do with the power that we have. We just don't tap into it because the system are using our energies to make them wealthy when we should use our energies to live our best life. But they are using our energies to live their best life while we are constantly in survival mode opposed to living life. So as a God, you have to know how to be in balance. You have to know how to be in tune with yourself and don't allow yourself to go too far to the extreme. It doesn't mean that you cannot express, but going too far to one extreme is going too much at the deep end and you may not be able to come back. So you have to be able to control that. You feel me? When you're dealing with creativity, creativity comes from the navel chakra. All right? It comes from the navel chakra. So when you are in any type of creative mode, one of the tools that you could use is deep breaths. All right? And when you breathe, you just don't breathe to your throat, but you breathe all the way down to your lower abdomen. Okay? And you hold that breath. Hold that breath of life for a few seconds. All right? And communicate with your navel chakra, and then you let it back out because now you are in that creative mode. Okay? Another thing you could do when you're creating or you're looking for answers, you go next to the water, you go next to a tree that has greenery, and you take those deep breaths, right? And you bring that all the way down to your lower chakra. Okay? Come up a little bit because remember, you are releasing the breath. So when you release, you hold on your navel chakra, you make that manifestation of creation, and then you start letting it go, right? You start letting it go. Now, when you come to your third chakra, which is the solar plex, which deal with the mental functioning, all that works in itself as well. You have to be able to master that because it deals with power, control. It deals with freedom to be oneself. You feel me? So those are some of the things that you have to do. Now, take for instance, if you write a declaration, all right? If you write a declaration that you want to put somewhere on file, wherever, what you do is you take your declaration, go under a tree, greenery next to water, you take some deep breaths, you read your declaration, and you hold it. You hold your breath, come up to the solar plex, hold it, all right? Because now that's where the mental functioning is. You give your declaration power. You give it control and you give it freedom to express itself, to be free. And then you let it go into the ethers. You see, all those things are sciences that we knew, but we have lost as a people. That power is in you. So the moment, not the moment, but the mere fact that you are complacent with being a slave, it shows that your solar plex chakra is not functioning properly. It's not open. It's not open. It really is not open. And the mental functioning we are talking about, it has to be of a higher self. Because now the next thing is power control. So you have to have control. You cannot just allow your lower chakras to just be all over the place. No. You have to have control. If you don't have control, you're going to lose yourself. And by losing yourself, what do I mean? It means that another energy is going to take control of your power. And now you become powerless because another entity is in control of your emotions. So your solar plex chakra got to be on point because it deals with control. And not so much control where you cannot enjoy the experience. Because you literally don't want to stifle yourself. You want to be open enough, but at the same time, you don't want to be too far out there so that another energy could take control of your emotions, okay? or your freedom or your state of mind. Okay, that's why it says in the Bible, thou shalt not have no other gods but me. They're talking about you because in Psalms and John, the allegorical Jesus said what? Ye are gods. So the allegorical Jesus or Yeshua is telling you, you shall have no other God but yourself. You are God. So you're supposed to be in control. Freedom to express yourself. So that's who you are. Be that. Don't be anything less. Be your best self. And your best self is your higher self. And as long as you get that, my brothers and sisters, anybody that's watching or listening, you are actually on your way. Okay? But you have to know. You see what I'm saying? Some people, some people may call it ego. Let them call it what they want. It's because they don't know who they are. That is because their solar plex chakra is not open. They don't have freedom to be their own self. They don't have the control because they have allowed other entities to take that control of them. All right. They have mental dis-ease, mental dysfunctioning opposed to mental functioning. So they want to be mad at you because you know who you are. You see what I'm saying? Don't allow these people to take you where they want you to take you. Nah, you be in control. So you always want to be functioning in that high mental capacity, and don't allow them to pull you into that dysfunction, because misery loves company. That's why I keep telling them I'm a God walking among men, and they just don't like it. They call it cockiness. No. Okay? You just don't know who you are. So I'm going to continue to express the fact that I'm a God, and y'all going to show some respect. Period. Just because you don't know who you are, don't be mad at somebody else if they do. All right. So we are talking about the third chakra, which is the solar plex. And I'm going to give you a few exercises that I used to do. All right. To kind of like keep myself in balance. Right. Now we're going back to the fourth chakra, the heart chakra. This is the center of it all. The center of the universe is the heart chakra. Okay. The center of the universe is the heart chakra. That is why the Americas, right, is the center of the universe. That's where the most greenery is on the planet, because the heart chakra of the earth is in the Americas. You feel me? But that's a whole nother story, right? So we're dealing with love. That's an emotion, right? So as you could see, when you go to your second chakra, the navel chakra, it deals with emotions. But how do you make that coherent with the heart chakra? You see what I'm saying? Because it's an emotion. If it's a negative emotion, then the heart chakra will not be activated. The heart chakra could only be activated with positive love and not negative love. You see, a lot of people don't know there's negative and positive love, because love is an entity on its own. It's a pole, and in every pole there is polarities. That's why when you flip love around, you get evil. See, y'all gonna learn today. So you could have negative love and you could have positive love. But the heart chakra only responds to positive love. You feel me? And that's where you start balancing yourself. You start having compassion, okay? Where you don't judge people. That deals with the heart, right? Then we go to the throat chakra. Of course, it deals with, like I said, with speech and self-expression, right? If your what you gonna call it? Let me see, what chakra is that? If your third chakra, which is your solar plex chakra, is blocked off, all right, 9 out of 10 times your throat chakra is also blocked off, because there's no self-expression. A form of self-expression is freedom to be oneself. So you see the correlation between all of them. There has to be synergy. So I'm showing you the connection. So once you start thinking of balancing your chakras or aligning your chakras, so to speak, you know exactly what you need to be doing. So when you deal with the blue, all right, the throat chakra, it deals with speech. Now, even if you don't know how to express yourself really, but you have self-expression, whether it may be in the way you move, because it's not always speech. That's a form of self-expression. It could be your walk. It could be the way you stand. It's an energy. You see what I'm saying? So you could still express it that way. However, there is a correlation between the throat and the solar plex when it comes to freedom to be oneself, self-expression. You did? All right, good. Let us go to the sixth chakra, which is the first eye. Remember, you have to be in tune. The first eye deals with the Christ. All right. That's why when the allegorical Moses went up into the mount and he spoke about the burning bush. The burning bush was the pineal gland. It illuminated. And when he came down, he had to cover his face because they just couldn't see his face, else they would be blind. You see what I'm saying? So with that being said, that deals with that type of level of ascension when you deal with your first eye, not your third eye, but your first eye. Okay, because everything starts with the mental realm, with the spiritual realm, and that's what it deals with. And the color for that is indigo. Now, if that's not in control, you don't have any type of clairvoyance. You are not exercising any form of psychic ability. If your imagination is stagnated, all right, by the, how would I put it, by the suggestions of man that you could only use 10% of your mind, then that means your sixth chakra is closed. Because the mere fact that you are accepting the notion, okay, that you only could use 10% of your imagination, right there. You see what they're doing to you? Because they don't want you to know that you have unlimited potential imagination. All right? So they have to put a cap. They have to put a cap on that so that they could control you. They don't want you to go beyond that 10%. So people are going around talking about, oh, we could only use 10% of our minds. I don't affirm these things because that's not my reality. That is not my reality. So I don't affirm these things. When I do my affirmation, I tap into my unlimited mind capacity. I tap into my unlimited imagination. Okay? I affirm that I have psychic abilities. I affirm that I am clairvoyant. You see, you have to speak it as it is. So therefore, it will be. And that's how you start learning to master yourself. You did. All right, let me just look at let me see. Okay, now here we go. So we just spoke about the sixth chakra, and we are talking right now about going back to violet, the seventh chakra, which is the crown chakra, and that deals with the inner standing, spiritual connection, and bliss of and oneness, right? That word oneness is something that we have to go to, and I'm gonna elaborate on that a little more. All right. So the only way to experience bliss, you have to be able to tap into your crown chakra. Okay. The only way to experience bliss is to step into your crown chakra. But all that is growth, meaning that you have to work on opening up, okay, or aligning your other chakras in order to get to that level of expression. Okay. Understanding, knowing, bliss. A place of blissfulness is a beautiful place to be. When you experience bliss, when you experience oneness, and oneness could never exist if your heart chakra is closed. Okay, I'm going to repeat myself. If your heart chakra is closed, you could never experience oneness. It's impossible. Okay, so those are the 7 physical chakras that you have to learn to align. All right, so I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and I'm going to come back to where you guys are at. All right, let's stop sharing the screen. All right, cool. Are we good? Are we good? Are we good? Mm. All right, so I don't know. I know folks are leaving, comments and all that. I'm not really gonna go into all the comments right now, but let me see. Chief, no disrespect to you. Thanks for the knowledge, and just to let you know, I believe in the most. I believe in the most. He told me to believe in Him. I'm not a atheist like you. I ain't falling for that voodoo, bruh. Man, listen, Mikey G. Listen, if this is not for you, bruh, you could step out. You know what I'm saying? Step out the room and do you. All right. I don't know what you call it voodoo. I don't know what you call it he. Who's he? You see, you people are coming from a brainwash, indoctrinated mindset. You see what I'm saying? And that's the problem with me. That's why y'all are slaves. You see what I'm saying? Because you got man telling you who the creator is, who the most high is. How you know it's a he? The first thing you said is he. That's a sign of indoctrination. You see what I'm saying? So I'm gonna continue with the lesson. That's what it is. It's not for everybody. Okay? It's not for everybody. It's for those who are ready to take their inner standing to a whole nother level to accept who they are. You see what I'm saying? Because the mere fact that you would come and talk about, well, God is a he, then we already got a problem. You see what I'm saying? We already got a problem right there. Because now you're telling me, well, it's a he. Well, what happened to the she? You feel me? So if that's a little above your understanding, I get it. You see what I'm saying? Not everything is for everybody, fam. You feel me? And not everybody's ready for that type of information. And if you're not, by all means, trust me, you're not disrespecting me because you're not on that level. You feel me? Because you know that you're God, does that make you an atheist? I mean, come on, brother. I mean, again, that explains itself. All right. But let me proceed. So now we're talking about oneness, right? Oneness. Oneness. Now you see how that they're talking right now of a one world government, which I already broke that down to you guys, right? But what's happening right now, it is something that they don't have control over. All right. This is something that they don't have control over because the universal mind, okay, is at a point where they're coming to be one. And that's a big factor of the message or the lesson today. All right. We have to work from our heart chakra. We have to start to love and we have to start to show compassion because people are not educated. People are not educated, and that's the problem. And the government and institutions and religion is using that as a tool. They are using that as a tool to keep people separated. Now, I want to touch on something real quick. All right. I hear a lot of people say that, we are talking about the pale man, right? The so-called white man. Oh, well, the so-called white man, was in caves and was in all fours. Why are people spreading this false information? Why are people spreading this false information? You know what I'm saying? Why are people spreading this false information? Brothers and sisters, you see me, I'm about keeping things 100. All right? I'm not going to get caught up in those fabricated stories. You did. And I'm going to tell you exactly what I mean by that, right? What people don't realize is this. I'm going to ask you all a question. Do you think all so-called black people are the same? And I would like you guys to answer me in the comment, please. And I didn't say black because I know we are not black. So I'm saying so-called. Do you think all so-called black people are the same? Anybody? Can anybody answer this question for me? Do you think all so-called black people are the same? Okay, no. No. Good. Perfect. All right. So if all so-called black people are the same, I'm going to ask you another question. Do you think all so-called white people are the same? There you go. Not all skin folk is skin folk, so that means no, right? So now the next question: so-called white people are the same. No, exactly. You are absolutely correct. So let me show you how I'm going to shut down all the misinformation. Okay? All the misinformation. To my Moorish brothers and sisters. Okay? You didn't teach the white man anything. You didn't teach the white man anything. And I'm talking about the so-called white man. You didn't teach them anything. And the so-called white man didn't come from caves. Y'all got to stop spreading these rumors and these lies to make yourselves, these big nobles y'all keep calling yourselves. No disrespect. I'm just speaking the facts. Okay? Not every so-called white people is the same. You dig? Now I'm going to tell you something that a lot of people probably don't know. Check this out, right? There are different ethnic groups in so-called white people. There are different ethnic groups in so-called white people. Just like how there are different ethnic groups in so-called black people. Okay? When the Moors went into Spain, okay, they fought their own. That's number one. Secondly, the whites that they're talking about is not every so-called white person. It was a group. Okay? It was a clan. It was a clan that were living, a certain clan that were living in caves. Just a certain clan. So what you trying to tell me? The only white people that was in the world was in Spain? You see, people got to stop listening to this foolery, man. Y'all got to stop. Stop. And that's the problem. Because people are just believing anything without even thinking for themselves. It don't have to be in a book. Just use your mind. Because when you look at dates, even when they were ruling Spain, what was happening in Britain? Okay, they had white people and black people living side by side in Britain. So what happened to those people? Were they in caves? Were they on all fours? I have seen so-called black people in Africa on all fours. So we got to stop this hatred, man. Oh, the white man is the cracker. We got to stop that. Because people are not educated. I promise you. Okay? Go take an Asian baby. Go take a Caucasian baby. Go take an African baby. Go take an American baby, right? And I would say at the age of 2 or 3. And put them in a room and give them some toys. Okay? And just by that experiment alone, I want you to show me where there is racism because of the color of their skin. You see what I'm saying? Because all those things are taught. Hating people because of the color of their skin was taught to people. That is facts. Let me tell y'all something, brothers and sisters, okay? There were Caucasian tribes and clans all over Europe that was clan mothers that was sitting down with heavy melanated clan mothers, drinking tea, talking, building. And I'm talking about for hundreds and thousands of years. Don't let nobody fool you with that foolishness. Okay? Don't let nobody fool you with that foolishness. Don't allow people's hatred for other people. Don't subscribe and buy into that. Don't do that. Because I'm going somewhere with this. I'm going somewhere with this. Let me show you this again. Because I want y'all to get exactly what I'm saying. All right? I want you to get what I'm saying. Because some of you may think I'm sounding crazy right now. But let me just show you this again. All right? It's important that you get this. Because if you don't get this, you're going to be missing out. All right? Let us look at the chakra again. Right where it says, right? At the crown chakra. What is that word? The last one right here. Oneness. I would like you guys to I would like you guys, if you don't mind, I would like you to type oneness into the chat. I'm asking, please. Type oneness into the chat. Oneness. And I'll explain to you exactly what that means. Oneness. If you could type it into the chat. Okay? Let me go here again, come back here. Let me stop sharing the screen. I'm going to type it first. Oneness. Okay? And I'm going to explain something to you because a lot of people are missing this. A lot of people are missing this. They are missing that because of the lack of education. You see, it was what was taught. That is the problem. So let me break this down to y'all and talk and let you see exactly where we are at in the world. Because right now, like I told y'all before, we are not in 2017. I mean, we're not in 2019. We are literally in the year 6,700 and I think 28 or 34. Okay, and that's within the Julian calendar. We are stepping into another realm where we are about to create that heaven on earth. That's why around the world, you see every different ethnic group standing and fighting against governmental powers. It's only in the United States, okay? People want to be slaves. No disrespect to us. I'm just saying. You feel me? And I'm putting myself in the category as well because I'm here with everybody. But I want y'all to see this and get this message. You feel me? That is the energy that's out there now because we are about to step in to the age of Capricorn where we have to create the heaven on earth. So things have to be purged out. Things have to be burned out. People, whether I don't care what your complexion is. It's all about the ascension of the mind. So if y'all want to continue to play this color game, you are going to be left out. You are going to be left out. Stop with the foolery. Okay? Stop with the nonsense. Well, the white man came from the monkey. Oh, well, the white man came from the dog. Well, let me ask you a question. Where did you come from? Where did you come from? All that stuff is an illusion, man. All that stuff is an illusion. It's an illusion. And society is playing on everybody's ignorance, having them hating each other, killing each other while they are living their best life, and you in your lower chakra continuing to fight for survival. But you have to step into your higher chakra, the oneness. Okay? I see, and let me tell you something, man. I'm not here making excuses for any ethnic group. That's not what this is. But I'm here to tell you that there are people out there that's trying to save our universe. There's people out there that's trying to do work to help Mother Nature. And that's what this is all about. That one mind. That's what the universal mind is all about. That's what the one world government is all about. But it shouldn't be governed by these institutions. It should be governed by the universal mind and not the mental part of it, which is the government. You feel me? But we are supposed to be connecting mentally as one. Because guess what? Every recessive race is an extension of you in your lower self. I'm going to repeat that again. Do you think you are different from the Caucasian man or the Caucasian woman? No. That is you in your lower self. So until y'all see that and you don't know what it is, you are hating yourself. And that's what y'all are missing. That's what you are missing. That's what you are missing. Now let me break it down to you. Let me break it down to you. Okay? We live in a world of duality. Okay? You have good. You have bad. You have left. You have right. You have up. You have down. The opposite of black is white. When we all manifested in our higher selves, okay, we have to experience the opposite of ourself in our higher self. And the only way for that to happen was to manifest in our lower self those that look opposite to us, but they're still us. They are our shadows. And no matter where you go, your shadow is going to follow you. Okay? There was never a time when Caucasians was in this world by themselves. Don't let nobody fool you. Just because you took a group of people, a clan of people, and put them in caves, don't call that the entire white race. Because at the time you're talking about there was in caves, there were other white people around the world in clans. With clan mothers, building with heavy melanated clan mothers. You see, y'all don't know. Because those clan mothers, those people, they understood that. They understood the oneness. And it had nothing to do with color. It was all about intent. You see, let me show you where they were dwelling. Let me show you where they were dwelling. I'm going to show you right now. Okay? This is where they were dwelling. Right here. They were dwelling in their heart chakra. Okay? They were dwelling in their heart chakra when the world was all green. Okay? Once they start cutting down trees, man, people started losing it. People started losing it. People start falling into their lower chakras. Falling into their lower chakras, right? And then they fell into their third chakra, where they start losing their mental power, the mental functioning. They start losing that. They started losing freedom of self. Then they started to devolve, got down into their sexual chakras, raping, murdering, pillaging, the emotion of hate. Instead of creating, they were destroying. Then they fell into their lower chakra. Now it's all about survival. Kill or be killed. Man, y'all gonna learn today. Y'all gonna learn today. So we gotta start growing back the trees and getting back to our heart chakras and start opening up our throat chakras and expressing ourselves of love. Telling people how we love. Expressing compassion. Then we step into our psychic abilities where we are able to communicate again telepathically. And then we step into that crown chakra where is that oneness, that heaven on earth is created again. Come on, man. Come on, people. Now, I know that's going to go over a lot of y'all head. And that's fine. Not everybody's ready for that. I get it. But I just felt in my heart today that I needed to put that message out there. Okay? I'm not condoning no type of atrocity, all right, or terror that any ethnic group did. Every ethnic group across this face of this earth has done some type of pillaging. Okay? Believe that it started with us. I'm just going to keep it 100, man. Like I keep telling y'all, if y'all ain't ready for the truth, y'all don't need to be on this platform. Like real talk. It started with us. It started with us. So therefore, when we manifested ourselves, we had to experience something that's the opposite of us. But first, that emotion started in us. We had to step into our lower chakras to what? To manifest the recessive race. Because we are the dominant race. Okay? So the dominant race had to experience something of himself and herself to feel what it means to be recessive. But the problem was when we manifested our lower selves, we was like, oh, whoa, we wasn't ready for that. You see what I'm saying? But in the continuation of life, we are all the same. Regardless of how or the tools that it took to make the creation, it still came out of the all. So how can you say we are not the same? How can you say we are different? The flesh is not you, it's all one mind. Oh, well, they ain't got no spirits, they ain't got no soul. That means you ain't got no spirit and you ain't got no soul. That's your lower self. Obviously, your lower self ain't got that. And y'all, you see, y'all gotta peep what it is. So once again, it's all about education. It's all about education. That's what it is, man. Because this is our home. And there was a survey that was done, right? That by 2050, the world is going to be brown. By 2050, the world is going to be brown. Why do you think they're promoting all these interracial marriages or relationships? It's not because it's yes, some people may look at it as an agenda. Yes, I've said it too. You see what I'm saying? But that's just what has to happen. That's what just have to happen, because the lower self and the higher self got to come back together, meet in the middle, and love again, and open up the heart chakra. And that's going to manifest in the flesh, all right, by the ethnic groups coming together, bringing back the lower self up, pulling the lower self up, bringing them back into the higher self. It's a spiritual thing, man. And y'all got to get that. Now, with that being said, I'm not preparing myself for, a Caucasian wife. Okay, no, that's not what it is. Because I just feel personally, that's just me. All right, I will not go have children with a Caucasian woman. I'll tell you, woman, and I'll tell you why. Because there's not enough education. There is not enough education that has been taught for people to truly get this. And it's bad enough that a lot of our men are not around. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not going to spread myself thin like that. You feel me? But for those of you that feel, I'm saying, that's what you have to do, that's your calling, then that's your calling to bring them back, graft them back. They got to be grafted back. They got to pull, you got to pull and pull your lower self up. You have to do that. But that's just not my purpose. But I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I'm just letting you know, for me, all right? Mine is a little bit different. Mine is to procreate with the already dominant gene, all right? That's just me. You feel me? But that's what's going to happen. And by 2050, the majority of the world is going to be brown again. And then they're going to continue to have children with more heavy melanated children until it gets back to a dark brown, almost looking black again. You see what I'm saying? So it's a progression that's happening. So whether y'all fight it or not, y'all could continue to hate people. You are the one that's going to miss out. You are the one that's going to miss out. Nobody but you. Because the world is getting tired of all these governments, all right, ruling people's lives and controlling people's lives. So they're coming together. And that's what's happening right now around the world. But right here in the United States, people are blind to that. They're not seeing that. They're still caught with the mindset of the matrix, thinking everything is okay. Oh, I'm going to hate that group. Oh, I'm going to hate that group. Oh, I'm even going to hate people that look like me. That is because people are still fighting for power. People still want to control people. But I'm here to tell you today that you are God. You see what I'm saying? So that's just what it is. You feel me? That is just what it is, man. So that's your lower self. I hear what you're saying, important plant, but guess what? Your lower self is you, and you cannot get away from that. You could never get away from that. So you have to pull your lower self up, fam. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. That's just what it is, man. But but I just wanted to come drop that information, man, to let you guys know that there's a lot of misinformation out there. Okay, a lot of misinformation. And people are doing that to boost themselves up. People are doing that to make people think, oh, they know everything. I tell people like this, I don't know anything. That's why every single day I'm studying, I'm reading, I'm meditating. You feel what I'm saying? But there's nothing outside the all. Nothing outside the all. All right? Nothing outside the all. You did. So let me ask you a question, right? This is a phone, and this is napkins, right? They're all in creation. Whatever it took to make that napkin, I'm certainly sure it took something else to make that phone. Does that mean the napkin is less than the phone? Or the phone is more than the napkin? No. They are all creations. So whatever it took to create your lower self, you did that. It was nobody else. You did that. You feel what I'm saying? You did that. Do you think they created themselves? No. You created your lower self. So why are you mad at yourself for creating your lower self? That goes to show you how lost people are. You feel me? So that's why I tell people I don't play with the color of law. I don't do that. I don't do that. Because that came from you. That was yourself that manifested in your lower self, and that's how it had to be manifested in the flesh. That's your lower self. You created a parasite from you, and they cannot live without you. I remember one time I was meditating, right? And I was trying to, but yes, here's the thing, right? Everybody's talking about, and I'm Spirit Trucker, I'm glad you said that. You have humans and you have mankind. Let me ask you a question. It is all the same. It is you. It was man who created mankind. So if your creations, let me ask you a question, right? If a dog had a dog, it's called a what? A dog, right? If a cow had a cow, it's called a cow, right? If a horse has a horse, it's called a horse. It is not called a horse kind. It is not called a dog kind. I mean, we got to get away from this foolish stuff, man. We got to get away from that. It came from you. So blame yourself for that. Don't blame nobody else. But one time I was doing some meditation and I was trying to find the relationship, you know what I'm saying, between pale people and heavy melanated people. And I'm asking myself, well, man, I need some answers. I need some answers. So I was, like I said, I was doing some meditation, and then all of a sudden that movie Ghost with Patrick Swayze and Whoopi Goldberg came to mind. And then I heard a voice telling me in my mind, hey, Chief, you know what? In nature, everything exists in nature. So I started thinking of the plants. So I just happened to go into Google and I Googled the ghost plant. All right. Now let us go read, the characteristics of the ghost plant. Let me just pull that up for you guys. Give me a second, right? While you guys are vibing in the chat, let me pull that up for you, okay? And somebody just supported my Cash App. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for showing that love, man. Thank you. I appreciate it. Initials DW. All right. Thank you for supporting the super chat. It means a lot. All right, Google. Ghost plant. All right. Ghost plant.
According to Wikipedia, Graptopelum paraguayans is a species of succulent plant in the jade plant family, Crassulaceae, that is native to Tamaulipas, Mexico.
All right. I'm going to pull up the ghost plant for you guys. Pro. Now the plant can grow through water. Finding gas. The ghost plant are often planted in containers. All right, give me a second. I'm looking for that for you guys. All right. The ghost plant. Why is it coming up on Google like that? Google is always changing something, man. For real, for real. All right, ghost plant. The ghost plant. Ghost plant. Ghost plant. The ghost plant. All right. Characteristics of the ghost plant.
According to Gardening Solutions, University of Florida, ghost plant. Ghost plant is a cold hardy succulent with pale gray or whitish leaves on sprawling stems. Its versatile growth will help it stand out in your landscape as an unusual ground cover, cascading down a container, or even as a houseplant.
All right. So when I looked up the ghost plant, right, you look at the characteristics of the ghost plant. The ghost plant is literally a parasite, right, that lives off of plants. It has to stay in close proximity with plants that's filled with chlorophyll. And I'm going to tell you guys exactly, what I mean by that. Go look it up for yourself. You don't have to believe anything I say, right? Go look it up for yourself. Okay, go look up when you get a chance. Go look up the ghost plant. All right. Okay, go look up the ghost plant. All right, and look at the characteristics of it. They have to live in close proximity with plants that have chlorophyll. It's the same thing with Caucasian people. They always have to be around us because it's only our energy that keep them vibrant. That's your shadows. Somebody asked, are you suggesting that all indigenous peoples around the world are the parents of the cold ones? Or are you saying that so-called African are their parents? But let me ask you a question, right? If life originated in the Americas, which we said it did, right? Then where do you think Africans came from? Where do you think Africans came from? So it's either or, right? If life started in the Americas and people who started in the Americas, where do you think Africans came from? You see, we're thinking too much on a physical level, right? The manifestation is not the source. So we all came from the same source. Everything here is just an experience. It's not real. All right? It's not real. So I wouldn't, for me, and that's just me personally, I'm not going to classify, that ethnic group or these ethnic groups as the cold ones. Because I've seen people who look like me, man, the things I've seen them done to our people. Woo, talk about being cold. So if we are the original people, where do you think everybody else learned this type of behaviors from? If we are the original gods, where do you think that everybody else learned everything from? That's what I'm asking. I'm trying to get you guys away from this illusion that the God is thinking. It's an illusion, family. It is not real. It is not real. The I am in you doesn't see a color. You feel what I'm saying? I mean, whether we say life originated in the Americas or not, the point is, unless you feel that there is more than one source, there is only one source, family. There is only one source. There is only one source. Because nobody has ever proven otherwise. So there's only one source. So if everything came from that one source, then what's the difference? The only difference is the experience. That's the only difference. And that's the point essentially I'm making. The world is going to come back to a oneness. And the people who cannot see that, they are the ones that's going to be perished. They are the ones that's going to lose out. Because you cannot see past yourself. You cannot see past yourself. And that's what's going to happen. It's going to be a natural progression while the world move on and everybody's coming together with that one mind. You feel me? You're going to be stuck living the illusion. And that's the problem. You see what I'm saying? All right. And that's it, man. Everything that we are living right now, it is something that was suggested. Something that was suggested. When we are living in our true selves, man, listen, there's going to be respect. You're going to treat your neighbor like yourself. We lived in a world where we loved, but we lost that. We lost it. You feel me? We lost it, man. So we got to get back there. We have to get back there. Don't allow the miseducation to make you think it's real. It doesn't matter where life came from. It doesn't matter where it originated from. Africa, Asia, doesn't even matter. Those were just physical expressions. You feel me? It is just physical expressions, different experiences. Literally, it is us experiencing ourselves in all these different attributes. This is that's what everybody's missing. There's nothing outside of us, family. Nothing outside of us. The Asian, the Caucasian, all right, the Mongoloid, the us. It's all inside of us. It's an expression of different personalities in us. And until you get that, it is yourself hating your higher self. It is yourself hating the first expression. It is your expressions hating the first expression of themselves. You feel me? I know it may seem a little bit confusing, but every other ethnic group is an extension of you. It is just another expression of you having a different experience outside of yourself. But it's all you. It's a reflection of you. That's it. There's nothing more. We've been here before Pangea. Pangea is new. We've been on this earth for so long, no people could just assume. So everything that we are literally worrying about right now, it's all an illusion. The key is to know that you are a God and know that no man or institution should have any type of authority over you. That is the bottom line. Period. You feel what I'm saying? That's the point I am making. Everything else is an illusion. You feel me? Everything else is an illusion, because if you were the first, then how could everything not come from you? So it's really yourself looking at yourself in a different host. Family is only the host that's different. I'm going to give you another example. All right? Let me give you another example, because I like to, I like to explain things so that people, children could get it, right? That's a car right here. You. Okay? That's another car right here. You. That's another car right here. You. That's another car right here. You. Right? Now check this out. Look at this right here. Like I said, I'm not the best artist in the world. I'm just giving you things so that you are able to, to vibe with me here. You see what I'm saying? Check this out. Okay, check this out. You see? The you that's in there is always going to be you, but the avatar is different. The mode of transportation is different. Okay? So I'm gonna do this again. Okay? Asian, Caucasian, Negro, whatever you want to call, and Mongolian. I know there might be some other ethnic groups as well, but okay. Here we go. All right? You see this right here? Caucasian, Asian, Negro, Mongolian. All that's you, just in a different body. Does that make sense? It's like going on a lot with where they have BMWs, Mercedes, Jaguars, all these different cars, and you go in each of those cars. It is still you behind the wheel. So all I'm just saying is it's all you. It is just different expressions of yourself. So it is yourself looking like a Caucasian. It is yourself looking like an Asian. It is yourself looking like a Mongolian. It is all you. It all came from you, man. It's just a different expression of yourself experiencing, that experience in another avatar, man. That's all it is. That's all it is. I'm just saying. It is just you, a different expression of yourself. That's all it is. Okay? And until we get that, then we're going to realize that something is wrong. You see what I'm saying? We're going to realize that something is wrong because we have to get that. Because, like I said, the oneness, the one mind is coming back into play. And it's time to make the transition for the heaven on earth. And you're going to miss out because you can't see the bigger picture, because your mind is clouded. Your chakras are not aligned. You feel me? And that's the problem. You feel me? Exactly. There you go. Chi Yu, you are absolutely correct. All right. You have to master your lower self for your lower self to disappear. Okay. You have to master your lower self. Pull your lower self up. All right. Pull your lower self up so that your lower self will not manifest and be so prevalent. That's how you win. You feel me? Because you have to know who you are. And it's not winning against them, because how can you win against yourself? You can't win against yourself. That's how you're going to win in life. You feel me? That's it. So until you, if you just can't get that, well, you got a whole lot of learning to do. All right. So I'm going to conclude this video. I'm going to take a break, and I will come back to part 2 of this. And thank you once again for supporting the super chat. I mean, not the super chat, for supporting, my Cash App, showing your appreciation. Very much appreciated. But I just felt it's important, to come drop this video. All right. Stop fighting against yourself. Work on building yourself. You feel me? That's how you get this victory. You work on building yourself. You acknowledge yourself as a God. You walk like a God. You talk like a God. All right? You stand like a God because you are a God. You feel me? And no entity is supposed to have authority over you, because we created it so we could have dominion over our creations. You feel me? And when I say our creations, I'm talking about governments. I'm not talking about people you call your lower self. That's you. It's all part of you. So when you rise, your lower self rise. Okay? And you pull your lower self up. That's it. It's that simple, man. It is all you. It is all within the one. Totality. The oneness. Go back to that chakra again. All right? Now I wonder why they keep us divided, to keep us from knowing ourselves and stopping us from coming into our true God. There you go. That's the plan. You see what I'm saying? They have to keep us divided, because the mere fact that you come together, that's the completion of God. You see what I'm saying? Is the oneness is what manifests the real God, that universal God. And they don't want that universal God to manifest. So what they have to do, they have to keep the individual, right? Think about it. Individual, the L, that's another name for God, right? Individual. So they have to keep you divided so that the oneness won't come together and the universal God, universal mind will manifest. So therefore we could have that bliss, that place of bliss. So they have to keep you divided. And they're using all the tools to keep us divided, because we're allowing them to keep us divided. Education. That's it. That's all there is to it. Okay? To manifest the universal source, to manifest the universal mind, to manifest that one God. Okay? You have to pull your lower self up, meet at the heart chakra, and become one. Okay? It doesn't mean you have to go sleep with them. It doesn't mean that. That's not what I'm saying. All I'm just saying is we have to learn to love each other. That's it. You have to learn to love each other. When I see you, I see myself. When you see me, you're supposed to see yourself. It doesn't matter what's the complexion of your skin. That's it. And when that marriage happened, all right, when that marriage happened, that's when the oneness, the universal God will appear. Until then, you will never see the face of God because you are too divided. Period, point blank. All right? And that's it. So I'm about to shut this down, and I will come back. I would say like another, it's like about 6:30 right now, my time. So I'll probably come back about 7:30. About 7:30. I'll take an hour break. So look out for the notification. If you're not a subscriber, go ahead and subscribe if you feel you would like to. And if you don't get the notification for the videos, then by all means, go ahead and click the notification bell. All right. Oh, I mean, absolutely, absolutely, family. I mean, that's what I do, man, because I know that we need to step our vibrations. I know we need to step our frequencies. You see what I'm saying? See things for who we truly are. And if you're a God, then you have to start walking and talking like one. You feel me? And again, thou shalt not have no other God but yourself. It is that simple. All right? But together, all the gods coming together, you see, all the gods coming together, then you manifest, all right, the oneness, that universal God. You feel me? And that's how we create the heaven on earth. And we are at that point right now. You did? All right. Yeah, man, I'm about to get me a little bit of nourishment. I'm gonna drink a little bit of water, just eat a couple of fruits real quick, and then I will be back. I would say in an hour for the most, about 7:30, between 7:30 and 8. I'll come back and do part 2 of the Negro question, 6. The black colonies, and we'll continue to do this build. All right. I appreciate, love you guys, and once again, thank you so much. We'll talk soon. One love. All right.